let me waste your time. GTA 5 has hundreds of Easter eggs, and today we're gonna cover 101 of them. No matter how many hours you have in GTA 5, I promise that you'll learn a lot of new things in this video, so come with me and let's explore the depths of GTA 5. In the mission I Fought the Law, Michael and Trevor are dressed as police officers on motorcycles. They then throw their half-eaten donuts on the ground. Them doing this is a reference to Reuniting the Families, a mission from San Andreas, where during that mission, two cops on motorbikes drop their donuts on the ground and begin to chase CJ, Sweet, Ryder, and Big Smoke. You may own the JB700W in GTA Online, and this is a straight reference to James Bond. It's actually GTA's version of the modified Aston Martin DB5, and even the name itself is a clear reference. JB, of course, James Bond, and 700, if you flip that around, is 007. Of course, both of those references to James Bond. Let me know if you've seen this one before. Of course, GTA shares a lot of similarities with Breaking Bad, but maybe one of the coolest nods in the entire game is Trevor's watch. Trevor actually wears a calculator watch, which is a clear reference to Walter White in Breaking Bad, who pretty much has the exact same watch. Not only that, but the two are pretty similar characters. They both run a meth business, so it's cool to see this little reference. Down at Elysian Island, the main cargo ship there is called the Octopus. Now, if you've ever played GTA 4, this might look a little bit familiar, and that's because it's actually the exact same ship from GTA 4, except that one was called the Platypus. You can see them here side by side, pretty much the exact same layout, just some texture enhancements and whatnot. Part of me probably believes that Rockstar just did this to save time, but I'm gonna convince myself that this is a massive Easter egg. There's an interesting book in Franklin's bookshelf in its Vinewood Hills home. This book here is titled Red Dead, and it's written by Jay Marsden. People have speculated that this could actually be John Marston's son, Jack, who stated in Red Dead that he might actually write a book himself one day. If you played GTA 5's story, you'd know that Michael DeSanta's real last name is Townley. DeSanta is the name that the FIB gave to Michael under, well, witness protection, and the surname DeSanta is a reference to Captain DeSanta, who is a major antagonist in Red Dead Redemption. At the start of the short trip mission, Fire It Up, with Franklin and Lamar, of course, at the start of the mission, Franklin will say CJ's famous line from the start of GTA San Andreas.
Oh shit, here we go again.
That's that LD Organics, nigga, that's that bomb.
Later on in that exact same mission, there's a chance Franklin can also give us another Easter egg back to San Andreas. When you're burning down one of the weed farms, Franklin will mention Flint County, and references the mission in San Andreas called Are You Going to San Fierro, where in that mission, CJ needs to burn down the Truth's weed farm.
Hey, this is like that shit that went down over in Flint County back in the day. Hey, don't get soft on me. Look for some more motherfucking fertilizer.
But that's not all, we also have another Easter egg in this mission. The time is frozen at 4:20 PM. Nice. Sometimes when you switch to Trevor, he'll be driving a Faggio following someone else in a scooter. He'll then yell out Scooter Brothers, which is a reference to a popular YouTube clip from GTA 4, where a YouTuber named Brad Simons did the same thing.
Scooter Brothers! Where are we going today, Scooter Brother?
Driving up Locksley. We are Scooter Brothers. Scooter Brothers. We are brothers on scooters.
You probably know about Bigfoot in GTA 5. In GTA 5, there's 27 peyote plants. Eating any of them will turn you into a specific animal for however long you want. But after a player has collected all 27 peyote plants, completed the game 100%, and completed the final Strangers and Freaks mission named The Last One, only then does this hidden Easter egg become available. At this point, 7 different golden peyote plants will spawn around the map. But that's not all. These golden peyote plants will only spawn from 5:30 to 8 AM and only when the weather is foggy or snowing. But it gets crazier. A different plant will spawn on each in-game day. The player needs to collect these peyote plants in order from Sunday to Saturday. Once they've successfully done that, this time they'll spawn as Bigfoot and hear the growl of a beast off in the distance. The player then needs to follow that growl all the way across the map until eventually the player, Bigfoot, can encounter the beast and have a battle. If you ordered the collector's edition of GTA 5 when it first came out, you would have found this massive map inside. But this map was actually full of Easter eggs. It was a blacklight map. So when you were using a blacklight or a UV light, the map would actually reveal secret markings, map legends, secrets, and Easter eggs around the map. I don't know about you, but if this is what we got for GTA 5, I'll be pre-ordering the GTA 6 collector's edition day one. In the mission Predator, Michael uses a thermal sniper rifle to hunt down the O'Neill brothers in the woods. Now, one of the Easter eggs in this mission is if you look down to the bottom right, you'll see Bigfoot just standing there for a few seconds. That's a bit creepy. But what a lot of people didn't notice is this entire mission, even the name, is a massive Easter egg. Of course, the mission is called Predator, and in this mission, Michael basically acts as Predator. If you've seen the movie, you know this is exactly what Predator does. If you go to another main character's house and start shooting rockets at their house, you can get several different phone calls from them telling you to, stop doing that.
Stop shooting up my house!
Also, if you're just walking or sneaking around someone's house, instead of getting a phone call, you'll get a text message. In the Yellowjack Inn, there's actually a framed photo of Trevor, but what's interesting is the plane he's flying in has the registration plate LS5680. Now, also in this image, people have speculated that Trevor is in a beta version of the GTA 5's Grand Sonora Desert, and the plane he's flying with this license plate can actually be found in the Thompson scrapyard. This next one kind of breaks the GTA canon a little bit, because in Stab City, there's a wrecked pickup truck that actually has a real-life California license plate on it. Of course, San Andreas is meant to be GTA's version of California, so this is kinda cool, but also doesn't really make too much sense. If you dial the number 948-555-0100, once you call it, you'll hear a dial-up modem sound. Now, this is the same number for Zit in GTA 4, but it's not only that number, the same thing will happen if you enter any of the cheat codes from GTA 4. During the setup for the jewelry store heist in single player, Lester mentions an Eastern European man who was making moves back in Liberty City. This is a definitive reference to Nico, the protagonist of GTA 4, and it also suggests that he either retired or died, seeing as Lester says he went quiet.
There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
However, there's also another Nico Easter egg in GTA 5, where many characters who are on computers are actually browsing Nico's Life Invader page. This page is active, which is likely showing that Nico is still alive. In the original versions of GTA 5 way back on PS3 and Xbox 360, if you went to the Lucky Plucker menu board and you zoom in on the actual stickers here on the menu board, you can see that there's some real life brands. Two of the more obvious ones are of course Sprite and Fanta. Now those obviously aren't supposed to be in the GTA world, so Rockstar actually removed them in the enhanced versions of the game. At the Yellowjack Inn in Sandy Shores, here you can see 4 shields. The top 2 have the words Best of Show 2008 with a motorbike engraved. This is a reference to the year that GTA 4 came out and the expansion Lost and Damned. The middle shield says Best of Show 2010 with an engraving of a stagecoach wheel. This is a reference to Red Dead Redemption and its release year. Next to Franklin's original house in story mode, there's a massive mural on the wall that says "Welcome back, we missed you last time." This is a reference to players who played San Andreas. When you're playing as Michael, this shirt is only available in Suburban. It's the Orange Grove shirt, but this is actually a really niche Easter egg, so get ready for this one. So the shirt is called Orange Grove. Now, if you've ever played GTA San Andreas, you would know that the Grove Street Families is a name of the main gang. But if you go way back to the GTA San Andreas beta, apparently the name for the Grove Street Families was actually the Orange Grove Families. So this shirt is a nod way back to that. Occasionally, when you pull a civilian out of their car and steal it, they'll yell out, "I'm moving to Vice City." This could be seen as a throwback to GTA Vice City, or maybe an Easter egg to GTA 6. Who knows what Rockstar was thinking?
I'm moving to Vice City. I don't want to die!
There was a somewhat minor character in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. His name is BJ Smith. He's referenced a couple of times here. First off, we have the Recreation Center named after him, as well as one of the convenience stores in East Vinewood, BJ's Market. On this wall next to the Union Depository, there's some graffiti on the wall that says Los Santos, but the font is the exact same that Rockstar used for the original Grand Theft Auto game, way back over 25 years ago. When you're playing as Franklin, you can get several different pieces of clothing that are from the Uptown Riders. This gang, of course, featured in the Lost and the Damned DLC for GTA 4, and some of the members even feature in GTA 5, most notably Malk, who's in GTA Online, and Johnny Klebitz, who was in GTA 5 single player. In the Yellow Jack Inn, there's a picture here of someone driving a tow truck. That person looks exactly like Niko Bellic. Actually, no, that's literally just Niko Bellic. Around the map, you'll find newspapers all over the ground. Many of these have pictures of Johnny Klebitz from Lost and the Damned in GTA 4, along with the headline Loves-Hate Relationship with Taxes. In the backrooms of the Vanilla Unicorn, there's a sticker on one of the lockers that says Honkers. This is an Easter egg to the Honkers Gentleman Club in GTA 4. In GTA 5, we got Vanilla Unicorn. In GTA 4, it was Honkers. Michael's son Jimmy is pretty heavily addicted to Righteous Slaughter 7, which, based by the gameplay style, also by how the characters describe the game, is a pretty clear parody mocking Call of Duty. If you head back to North Yankton, where the prologue takes place, underneath the train bridge is a frozen creek. Inside the frozen creek is an alien. But that's just one of many alien Easter eggs in GTA 5 though. You may have heard of the Mount Chiliad mystery. Most of that comes from the mural at the top of the mountain. It's not just a normal map though. The map shows what is pretty clearly Mount Chiliad along with 8 boxes. The bottom 3 boxes show a UFO, a cracked egg, and someone with a jetpack. The other 5 boxes have an X inside. All of those X's mark the location of one of the 5 strange murals on the side of Mount Chiliad. On the very top of the mountain drawing is an overseeing eye, along with electricity or possibly lightning around the mountain. That eye on top of Mount Chiliad can actually be seen in person, but next to the eye it says come back when your story is complete, which means the player needs to come back to this location once they get 100% completion in GTA 5. Once the player gets 100% completion, they need to come back to the top of Mount Chiliad at 3 AM in-game, and it needs to be cloudy or raining. Only when those conditions are met, a UFO is going to spawn. Upon closer inspection though, this UFO actually has an FIB logo on it, which is GTA's version of the FBI. Once you get 100% completion, 2 other UFOs can be seen, one of which is in Sandy Shores directly above a hippie camp with a bunch of alien murals and artwork, and the other one above Fort Zancudo, but this one looks a little bit different. In any 2-car garage that you can buy, up on this shelf here there'll be a license plate that says Liberty City. Unfortunately though, we can't get these license plates on our own cars, at least not yet. Deep underwater, you can find the famous hatch from the TV series Lost. Now, it's not actually possible to get close to the hatch because the water pressure will just kill you, but if you go near the hatch, you'll hear someone knocking on the other side. This is actually a message in Morse code that translates to, hey, you never call, how'd you fancy going bowling? Which of course is a reference to Roman in GTA 4, who would always call Niko up asking to go bowling. The Los Santos Country Golf Club was established in 1992, which of course is a throwback to the year that GTA San Andreas was set in. In the mission, did somebody say yoga? One of the gold medals that you need to get in the mission is named Praise the Sun. This is a reference to Dark Souls, where Praise the Sun is a massive meme in the community, so pretty neat to see that reference there, not gonna lie. In a lot of the vehicles in the launch version of GTA 5, if you go into first person and have a look at the actual GPS in the car, that GPS shows a map of Liberty City. This could either be an Easter egg or just a reused asset from GTA 4 that Rockstar couldn't be bothered to update. One of the Weasel News broadcasts, the news reporter references a drug named Zombex, which is actually a reference to the game Dead Rising, where in that game there's a drug called Zombrex that cures people that are infected.
Drugs. The war on street drugs may have been won, but America is pumping pills like like it's still the 70s. Prescription painkillers like Dilutamol, Zombix, and Aladdin are more popular with junkies than sick people.
There's a marking on the side of the train that says LS 2004, or in other words, Los Santos 2004, which is the year that GTA San Andreas was released. As you enter the Yellow Jack Inn, on the left of the entrance there's a coat. This jacket is very, very similar to Nico's first brown jacket. On the right side of the Del Perro Pier, there's a piece of graffiti that says "Nothing to see here, groove along," with a little smiley face next to it, which is a throwback to a reference to a similar sign in GTA 3. The San Andreas Flight School was established in 2004, which is another throwback to San Andreas' release year. That's pretty neat. In a radio ad for Pride Not Prejudice, the announcer references a couple of really popular first-person shooters that were kind of at their peak around the time GTA 5 came out. The announcer says some shooters are set in hell, referencing the Doom series, and others are set in post-apocalyptic wastelands, which is referencing Fallout.
Coming for the Exorbio 720 gaming system. Some video games are set in hell, others in post-apocalyptic wastelands.
Sticking with Fallout for a moment, at the Procopio truck stop there's a rocket next to it, which is a reference to the rocket souvenir from Fallout New Vegas. You can tell not just because it looks like it, but if you actually walk up next to it, you'll hear a Geiger counter, which is a pretty clear reference to Fallout because a Geiger counter tracks radiation. There's a random event in GTA Online where players can rescue Patrick McReary from the police. If you choose to do so, Packy will say that Liberty City was easier to rob. That's because Packy is a character from GTA 4 who is part of Nico's crew. After you rescue him, you can actually use him in the Diamond Casino heist, and Packy is also in single player where he mentions that Nico is most likely dead, but he doesn't know that for a fact.
Packy McReary from the fine borough of Dukes in God's own Liberty City. I came to LS seeking fame and fortune, and I found boredom and idiots.
There's a homeless guy in Vespucci Beach that holds up a sign saying, "Serbian bad guys stole all my money," which could be another reference to Nico. In downtown Vinewood, we can see this writing on the wall. This is where the Bearing the Truth mission starts in single player, so this writing is most likely linked to the Epsilon program, but there's actually a reference to another game in here as well, and that's at the bottom where it says the fruit tree is a lie. This is a reference to the Portal series, where a popular catchphrase in that game is the cake is a lie, and it's also got another hidden meaning in here with Adam and Eve with the fruit tree, and the Epsilon program completely disregard that entire creation theory, so kind of a double Easter egg here. It's pretty neat. Along the water in Vespucci Beach, you'll often see a few beach towels that say "I Heart Vice City." Behind the counter in the Yellow Jack Inn, you can see several $69 bills hanging on the wall here. The image on these bills is the famous cover girl for GTA San Andreas. The bills also say 10/12/2004, 6 p.m., which is 14 days before GTA San Andreas released. Strange. In Textile City, there's a wholesale and retail store called Broker, which is a reference to the borough of Broker in Liberty City from GTA 4. You can tell by the skyline on top of the logo. Over in downtown Los Santos, there's a store over here called Supersonic, the ultra-fast ring specialist. Now, anyone who's played Sonic the Hedgehog would see this pretty clear reference here. That's pretty cool. Going back to the mission, did somebody say yoga? Jimmy says that his dealer, Aaron Ward, is the friendly neighborhood drug dealer. Of course, this is a reference to Spider-Man, where he's commonly called your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
There he is, the friendly neighborhood drug dealer.
In your arcade, you can play the game Cubed, which is actually a game that was introduced in GTA 4. Next to the Vinewood Sports LS store in Harwick, there's actually a billboard of Tony, a radio DJ from the 3D universe. Right next to that, on the billboard next to it, is an artwork of the famous GTA twins painted on this building. Just another one of GTA's famous poster girls. On certain weapons from Ammunition, you can buy the Yusuf Amir luxury finish. This is a reference to the character Yusuf Amir from the Ballad of Gay Tony. When Michael enters his house, there's a chance he'll get the voice line where he says, "Daddy's back, bitches."
Daddy's back, bitches!
This is an Easter egg to the very first line from the beginning of GTA 4, where one of the characters yells out, "Daddy's back, you bitches." So they took out the "you," but the rest of it, clear reference.
Daddy's back, you bitches! Daddy's back, you bitches!
Dave, come on.
Nero!
what are you doing? Dave is not coming.
Rockstar made it possible for you to buy clothes and a haircut for Michael that makes him look almost exactly like the default attire of Tommy Vercetti. During the mission Derailed, one of the requirements to get the gold medal is to land on the train on your first jump. The title for this challenge is called Better Than CJ, of course a reference back to San Andreas in the mission Wrong Side of the Tracks. In the in-game movies, two of the movies, Coppola Voro and Meltdown, make use of very popular locations from GTA 4, like the heart of Liberty City. One of the possible heist outfits, the green boiler suit with the hockey mask, this is a reference to the movie Heat. What's interesting though is this movie was previously referenced in a similar way on the heist mission planned at the Malibu Club in GTA Vice City. One of the best Easter eggs in all of GTA 5, during the mission Hood Safari, right as you enter Grove Street, there's a chance that you'll see 3 people driving BMXs down Grove Street away from the cul-de-sac. If you get a close look at these guys, they're dressed the exact same as CJ, Sweet, and Big Smoke, and this is a very clear reference to the Sweet and Kendall mission in GTA San Andreas.
You just a liability, CJ. Why you bother coming back?
Straight back into the game, right, dog?
In the mission Dead Man Walking, over on the board here we can see 2 names in particular that stick out. One is Dexter Fisher, the other is Morgan Price. This is actually a double Easter egg. The first one is linking to the show Dexter, where the main character's name is Dexter Morgan, and the second Easter egg is Fisher Price. Fisher Price is a major American toy manufacturer. Kind of a random crossover there, but kinda cool. In the Polito score heist, 2 of the sheriffs in this mission have the name Grimes and Kirkman. These are both references to The Walking Dead. Grimes, of course, a clear reference to Rick Grimes, and Kirkman is a nod to Robert Kirkman, who was the author of the comic books. If Trevor's listening to the radio in his own car, his Bodie, there's a chance to hear a conversation between a truck driver and another guy who goes by the name Eddie Lowe. Eddie Lowe was a serial killer that could be found in Alderney by Nico in GTA 4.
This is Eddie Lowe. I just damn near clipped that electric Indian.
Eddie Lowe?
That's me.
Ain't you a serial killer?
Yeah, very funny. So what if we had the same name? You think I'd be driving a truck all day if I was a serial killer?
I thought all you truckers were serial killers.
Screw you! What the hell you do for a living?
I'm a security guard.
Ha! A damn rent-a-cop. Go sit in the chair and watch the world go by.
Hey, don't be mad at me because you're a truck driver with a serial killer's name.
Occasionally, when Trevor runs over pedestrians in a vehicle, he'll shout out the voice line 10 points, which is, of course, a reference back to the original Grand Theft Auto, where you would get 10 points for running over a civilian.
10 points!
One of the billboards in the game is for Organ Farm, and the logo of Organ Farm is actually a callback to Green Day's American Idiot, clearly taking inspiration from the design of the cover. In the mission Complications, one of the names of the challenges here is Can't Touch This, a rather small but pretty clear nod to the song by MC Hammer. On the side of a highway, there's actually a massive number of letters here. Each of these numbers corresponds to a letter of the alphabet, and if you decipher the code, it says all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. Of course, another reference back to Wrong Side of the Tracks from GTA San Andreas.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ!
At the end of the Humane Labs raid, Karen Daniels, who is a returning character from GTA 4, in the cutscene she says she was required to trap and cajole criminals into helping her, but now she only has to offer them money. Spoilers for GTA 4 here, but she's referencing how she used to trap and cajole criminals. That's talking about in GTA 4 how she was pretending to be Nico's girlfriend, when really she was just watching him and working for the government.
When I ran agents in the field, I had to entrap them, cajole them, threaten them with deportation. You're never gonna know what I had to do.
Your GTA Online character could quite literally be one of the children of the famous GTA characters that have come before us. In the character creator, you can choose your character's father to be Claude from GTA 3, John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, or Nico Bellic from GTA 4. In many apartments in GTA 5, if you go into your bathroom, you'll see your toothpaste there, but the toothpaste says CJ's toothpaste, another reference to San Andreas. In Franklin's second house in Vinewood Hills, There's 3 gold records on the wall. One of them belongs to OG Loke from GTA San Andreas. There's also a Mad Dog CD sitting on top of the DJ booth, and a red and blue colored artwork of Mad Dog with MAD written across the bottom. Also in Franklin's house in Vinewood Hills, on one of the bookshelves there's a book called The Liberty King with the face of Donald Love from GTA 3. You may have seen this poster around the map for a movie called Sequel 2. This is actually continuing a running joke from the Bully game, where in Bully there was a movie in that game called Sequel the Movie. In Lester's house there's a book called Surveillance on the bookshelf. On that book is a picture of CJ. There's a private taxi fare mission that you can complete as Franklin. At the end of that mission, there'll be a couple cars with interesting number plates. One of them says Nico B, and the other one says Roman B. References to Nico and Roman from GTA 4. Around the map, you can find wanted posters for Nico from GTA 4 that say in big bold font, wanted assault with a deadly weapon. There's a random robbery event in GTA 5 story mode, where you can choose to save Brucey and Packy and run them away from the cops. Packy, who we mentioned before, is from GTA 4.
Good, kid! You're good, kid! Let's lose this heat!
I'm sure we've all bought masks down at Vespucci Beach, but one in particular, this white hockey mask, is an Easter egg in reference to Jason, of course from Friday the 13th. Karen Daniels, Nico's first girlfriend in GTA 4, who ended up ratting him out, plays a part in a few missions in GTA 5 and GTA Online, first in the Three's Company story mission, as well as the Humane Labs raid in GTA Online. This character has changed identity several times, working for the IAA across multiple games.
Jacob, what are you doing here? This is no place for you, Michelle.
As it happens, it is. You see, Nico, I have been working for the government.
The character named Bernard, or as we more commonly know him in GTA Online, Agent ULP, is actually a returning character from GTA 4, where he ended up blackmailing Nico.
There.
Here he is.
I can see that. Thanks, Karen. But I'm fighting with them. And guess what? So are you.
There's a few missions in GTA Online where we need to use the Digiscanner. It's got a bit of a funky design, and that's because it's actually a reference to the Ghostbusters movie, and looks very, very similar to the PKE meter. In the mission, Mr. Phillips, Terry, and Clay, 2 bikers from Lost and the Damned in GTA 4, try to escape from Trevor, and unfortunately they didn't last too long. Speaking of Lost and Damned characters that didn't last too long, in the same mission, in the starting cutscene, Johnny Klebitz kinda got stomped by Trevor, and people were kind of upset about this considering he was a pretty big character in GTA 4's DLC. By now we all know that the chicken statue out front of the Clockenbell Farms has a traffic cone on its head, but you might not have known that this is a reference to the equestrian statue of the Duke of Wellington in Glasgow, where it's become a tradition to place traffic cones on its head. One of the names you can choose for your nightclub in GTA Online is Maisonette. Of course, one of the main characters in the nightclub DLC was Tony, so this is an Easter egg to Tony Prince's nightclub in the Ballad of Gay Tony in GTA 4, which was called Maisonette 9. Laszlo, one of the side characters in GTA 5 and GTA Online, has actually been a DJ in radio stations from all GTA games. So no surprise to see Rockstar include him in GTA 5. Unfortunately though, he has now since left Rockstar Games, so we'll have to see if he appears in GTA 6. In the mission, Mr. Richards, Michael is tasked with going to return Rocco Pelosi, who's a character from the Ballad of Gay Tony. Just like many characters who made cameos, they ended up dying, and so did Rocco, by the hand of Michael. In the Cayo Perico compound, we can see a couple more Red Dead Redemption Easter eggs. In particular, these 2 images. The first is a photo of the Valentine Church from Red Dead, and also the Banjo Mutant. The Dignity Super Yacht is extremely similar, almost directly copied from the boat that's in the beginning mission of Max Payne 3. Now that's definitely an interesting way to reuse assets. In Los Santos, there's a company called Escalera. This is a rent-a-car business, and this is an Easter egg from Red Dead Redemption, where there's a town with the same name. To be clear, right, the town name's not rent-a-car, it's Escalera. In the agency deal contract for your auto shops, in the finale of the mission inside the IAA facility, behind one of the locked doors, you can actually see one of Avon's Juggernaut clones. Little did we know, but at the time this was actually foreshadowing the upcoming Criminal Enterprises DLC that came out in 2022. If you go to Suburban as Michael, similar to the Tommy Vercetti Easter egg, you can buy a shirt that's very similar to one Max Payne wears. During the story mission, Daddy's Little Girl, the guy you rent the bike from at the bike rental place on Vespucci Beach is actually wearing a John Marston t-shirt. Similar to the Daddy's Back voice line by Michael, he'll also occasionally say, "Honey, I'm home."
Honey, I'm home.
Now obviously this is a common phrase, but this is the exact same line that Max Payne used during a cutscene where he entered his home realizing that it was attacked. And what's funny is Michael has the same thing happen to him in the mission Meltdown.
Honey, I'm home.
One of the in-game TV commercials for Up and Atom Burger is set in the year 1950. This footage actually reuses images from LA Noire, which of course is another Rockstar game. In the final short trip mission called OG Kush, Lamar reveals to Franklin his custom weed-branded car. This is a reference to the 1978 movie Up in Smoke, which has a somewhat similar looking van that is also made entirely out of fiberweed. During the drive to the Polito score, Michael will mention his first heist. He'll talk about how it was on the outskirts of Casa City in 1988. This is a neat little Easter egg to Rockstar's game Manhunt that was set in Casa City.
Not me. Mikey, bro, what was your first bank score?
88, outskirts of Casa City. Took a small franchise for 10G. Things were easier back then.
The Elysian Fields Freeway is a reference to the Elysian Fields Development Company from LA Noire. The mothership livery for the Surfer Custom is the exact same one used in the Truth's Camper in San Andreas. This one's pretty awesome. A lot of the time Rockstar does these sort of nods. The liveries aren't exactly the same, but no, this one is exactly the same. There's an NPC that can spawn outside the Vanilla Unicorn wearing a jersey that says Hopkins on the back, referencing the main character in Bully, Jimmy Hopkins. There's a cafe in Vinewood called Cafe Redemption. This is most likely an Easter egg to Red Dead Redemption, of course. Over in Strawberry, there's a lot of graffiti. One of them, this one here, looks like a silhouette of John Marston. Another cool nod to Red Dead. At the mask store, you can buy a pig mask, which is very, very close to Pigsy from Manhunt. Rockstar really thought of Easter eggs absolutely everywhere. In your arcade, there's a minigame called Nazar Speaks. Madame Nazar is a character from Red Dead Redemption 2. There's also a hidden Easter egg where you can get a phone number that you dial that lets you speak to Madame Nazar, which of course is terrifying considering she has been dead for a very long time. In the Grand Sonora Desert at the Satellite Relay Station, if the player goes there at 10 AM in-game, they'll find a group of scientists just standing outside, with no FIB agents anywhere in sight. But if you go way back to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of GTA 5 and do the exact same thing, you'll find the exact same scientists, but this time with some armed FIB agents. This was a small detail that had no explanation up until really this past year. See, it was believed that this was actually a teaser for an upcoming GTA 5 story DLC way back in 2013. As we found out on Christmas Day when the GTA 5 source code leaked in 2023, this was planned to be part of the Agent Trevor DLC that got cancelled. The Agent Trevor DLC was mostly reused and repurposed and turned into the Doomsday Heist DLC for GTA Online, which would make complete sense considering that at the end of the Act 1 data breaches heist in GTA Online, this is the main location where the finale takes place. So I hope you learned something new in this video. If you want to find out more info about GTA Online, click one of the two videos that's about to pop up on your screen. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Boys!
Favorite color, money green. Paper. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my pack like Wolverines. But you won't find me on the mountaintop. Need no calculator.